All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. The honor to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, to all the across the globe. Put your word of truth in the city, won't say Shalom. Romans 15:4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through the patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. We have a lot of lessons that we can learn from the scriptures. You know, these lessons are blessings to us because we have a book that we can refer to see the results of our disobedience. We have a reference to look to see how the Lord has turned these lessons into blessings for Israel, that the elect may continue to walk and have hope in the trials and tribulations that we're going through in this present time. You have examples of faith and courage, of disobedience, of diligently seeking Yahweh Shai and receiving that reward for the labor of our work. You know, things are comforting, you know, that we're able to be resilient and to come back from these afflictions and trials that have been set before us, man. You know, although we go through this walk with chastening and sorrow at times, you know, the end result, yeah, they're definitely going to be saved, that we have not gone through nothing that our forefathers haven't gone through. And reading these scriptures gives us a great sense of hope and comfort that we can get past these things, man. You know, the loss of family, the loss of life, as the world knows it. You know, the things that we go through are for our benefit. So, Act 2:4, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient without change to a low estate, for gold is tried in the fire, acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. You know, we understand that the walk is not going to be cakes and ice cream, all right, rose petals and flowers, man. You know, that this is for our benefit. You know, the lessons that we are learning are to prove and test us. All right, so we can be vessels fitted for the master's use. You know, just knowing that we go through these things that have been understood by us in these scriptures by our forefathers, that there's a reward at the end of this, man. You know, that's why the Lord keeps us humble and removing some things that we found comfort in. You know, some of us have, a lot of us, most of us, all of us have had a humbling experience in the truth. You know, but it's to try us, man. It is to help us learn from our mistakes and to come out better and stronger, so that we can stand the fiery darts and endure this God-forsaken place. And this place is God-forsaken, man. You know, the vexation of this place, the pride of life, the conversation of the wicked, the chastisement of the Lord is for us to grab hold and to trust and to reach out to the Lord even more and go harder and stronger. The lessons that we learn are tough ones, but yet there's blessings in these rewards. I mean, there's blessings in these lessons. There's blessings in being humbled and taking things as a learning experience. All right, so that we could be proven in the eyes of the Lord that we're ready, that we're faithful to Yahweh Shai. Hebrews 12 and 11 says, now no chastening for the Lord, and no chastening for the present seems to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward are yielded the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. You know, and these lessons don't feel good when we are going through them. You know, these lessons are not for us to be discouraged, but for us to learn and understand on the other side, going to make us better. You know, and it's all part of the walk of the truth, man. These lessons are blessings for us, that we can show others, you know, the reason, the hope that we have in us, man. That we're able to make it, that we're able to call upon Yahweh and thank the Lord for the experiences that we have in His truth, man. You know, and it gets greater later. The crown is the receiving of the crown being placed on the head by Yahweh Shai is what we're seeking. You know, we have to go through it to get through it, man. We got to go through the straight gate to see the wide. You know, and this is something that we have to embrace. You know, embrace these lessons. All right, because any lessons are blessings, man. All right, like that seed. You know, who fruit is inside of it. When it's planted, it's gonna go through certain things: the wind and the rain and the snow and the heat and the drought. But in the end, it endures and gets stronger. And we're able to reap the benefits of that fruit. All right. So let's remember, you know, these lessons are blessings in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Shai, and that's the attitude that we must embrace. You know. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.